What's up, guys? I'm John, and this is Brandon.
Hey.
We are here today to give you a little bit of comic context on the mid-season finale of Walking Dead, titled Heart Still Beating. So, for me, the whole point of this episode was the last 5 minutes when Rick decides that he's going to return to form, and, you know, he gets his gun back, and everyone kind of reunites. And I think that there were a lot of things that contributed to that. So I think we're going to kind of roll into what made that so important. One of the big scenes for me is watching Spencer get a big knife to the gut.
Oh yeah.
Which was very reminiscent of a moment from the comics, and specifically a cover from the All Out War storyline where it's Negan with this giant, enormous, ridiculous-sized knife.
He's got a big old grin on his face.
Just covered in blood.
Yeah.
So I think that was a really great moment to see in the show. You know, how do you feel that really contributed to Rick's mindset as far as changing sides?
I think that moment for Rick is just another hit for him. I'm sure he doesn't necessarily care for Spencer because he's been kind of a jerk the whole time, but still, and you can see that in everyone's face, it's still a heavy hit, a heavy blow for them.
You know, and in the same moment he loses Olivia, which is, you know, for the infrastructure of his family, she's taking care of Judith while he's away. You know, she's kind of an important person to the community.
That one's like, hey, I can hit the people that are closest to your family, to your baby. You know, you can't escape my grasp, right? That's what he's saying. And he even let one of his soldiers, Arat is her name, do that.
Yeah.
That's how, you know, heavy-handed that was.
I was probably more sad to see Olivia go, even though she's a character that's just been built up in the last couple episodes, because, you know, Spencer is such turd water that you don't really care.
Right.
Like, Olivia is a person that she has moments where she stands up to Negan and she slaps him in the face.
Right.
And I think that was a really great contributing moment. The next, for me, was seeing Michonne, you know, try to find a path in order to just step outside of Rick's domain and kill Negan herself, and make the decision that the only way that it can be done is together.
Right. I think that was very important for Michonne because she's such a lone wolf at times. She's always been kind of like, I'm just going to go do this myself, or I need to be by myself. And now she's finally realized, hey, I can't be alone. Like, we have to be together in this all the time. And I think that's a big step for Michonne, for sure.
Yeah, I think that brought a lot of perspective to Rick and to Michonne to let her not be this lone wolf, and Rick realized that they both function best together. Lastly, you get to see them all reunited at Hilltop. You get to see Maggie, and, you know, it was a really touching scene that I felt like was the purpose of the episode and was really heavily weighted towards that moment.
Right.
While we spent an hour and a half on things that didn't necessarily have as much weight as that. So I felt like there was a little bit of moments misused in this episode.
I feel like I'm the opposite. I feel like you kind of need to have a lot of that tension building, a lot of those moments to see. Like, I mean, this whole season, yes, it's been a little draggy, but I mean, it's just been hit after hit after hit, and we need all those moments to culminate to a point. And I love how it's the beginning of the season is like the most awful thing that could happen, and this season you feel like the very end of this, you feel so uplifted. I mean, I had a big smile on my face that the team is back together.
Yeah, it's like angry happy.
Yeah, exactly. I think my favorite moment of that, and the one that just killed me, was Daryl and Rick's kind of embrace, especially when Daryl's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man," and they hug, you know.
And then he gives him his gun back.
And he gives him his gun back, and that's him saying, "Yo, we need to do this. Let's start this fire."
Yeah, it gives him back his will and his defiance against Negan and against what he feels is wrong.
Right.
You know, I think it's really important. I think this episode really served these characters. So, you know, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear what you have to say. And for all things Walking Dead, stay tuned to IGN.